The alarm bells rang so loud that Admiral Thexrel nearly fell from his command chair. For 300 years, nothing had broken through the Keth-9 system barriers. Nothing. The quantum walls around this star system were the strongest in the entire Velthari Empire. They were supposed to stop everything, but something had just torn through them like paper. "Report," Thexrel shouted at his crew. His forearms moved quickly across the control panels, trying to understand what was happening. "Sir, unknown vessel detected," his scanner officer said. His voice was shaking. "It came through the quantum barrier at Section 7. The barrier is completely destroyed in that area." Thexrel looked at the main screen. A ship hung in space about 50,000 kilometers away. It looked nothing like any ship he had ever seen. The hull was gray and angular with sharp edges and strange markings on the side. Most alien ships were smooth and curved, but this one looked like it was built for war. "What type of ship is that?" Thexrel asked. "Unknown, sir. It does not match anything in our database. The computer says it has never seen this design before." On the bridge of the human destroyer, Captain Dongsu stood with his hands behind his back. He watched the alien space station on his main screen. It was huge, maybe 10 times bigger than his ship. The station had long arms sticking out in all directions, and strange lights blinked all over its surface. "Well, that got their attention," Dongsu said quietly. Lieutenant Boram sat at the weapons station. She was young for her rank, but she was the best tactical officer Dongsu had ever worked with. "Sir, I count 12 alien ships moving toward us. More are coming from the far side of the system." "They seem upset," said Communications Officer Teho. He was listening to the alien radio signals. "Sir, they are sending signals on every frequency they have. The computer is trying to translate, but it is having trouble." Dongsu nodded. "What can you make out?" "They want to know who we are and how we got through their barriers. They keep using words like impossible and violation of physics. Oh, and they want us to surrender immediately." Chief Engineer Wanbin looked up from his station. He was covered in grease and looked tired. "Captain, the Void Ripper drive worked better than we hoped. Maybe too well. We tore through their barrier system completely. I do not think they expected that. The Void Ripper drive was new human technology. Most aliens used normal space travel, moving from point to point through regular space. Humans had discovered how to punch holes in reality itself. The drive could ignore most barriers and walls by simply going around the laws of physics that made them work. "How many ships are coming our way now?" Dongsu asked. Boram checked her screens. 37 ships, sir. More arriving every minute. They are keeping their distance, though. Nobody is getting closer than 20,000 kilometers. "That is strange," said Science Officer Hyun-woo. He was studying the alien formations. "Sir, if they wanted to attack us, they would move closer. Instead, they are staying far away. It looks like they are afraid of us." Navigator Si-jin spoke up from her station. "Captain, I am detecting more ships jumping into the system. Big ones. Some of them are twice the size of our largest battleships." Dongsu thought about this. The Incheon was just one destroyer. It was a good ship, but it was not built to fight entire fleets. Yet these aliens were acting like his single ship was the most dangerous thing they had ever seen. "Sir," Teho said, "I am getting clearer translations now. They keep asking about something called the Return. They are also mentioning legends and old stories." "Legends about what?" "About us, sir. About humans." Dongsu turned to look at his communications officer. "That does not make sense. Humans have only been in space for 200 years. How can they have legends about us?" Before Teho could answer, the main screen lit up. A new signal was coming through. The image showed an alien that looked like a giant praying mantis made of blue crystal. It had 4 arms and large dark eyes. When it spoke, the voice was translated into Korean by the ship's computer. "Unknown human vessel," the alien said. "I am Admiral Thexrel of the Velthari Empire. You have entered our space without permission and destroyed our defense barriers. Explain your presence immediately." Dongsu stepped forward. "Admiral, this is Captain Dongsu of the Earth ship Incheon. We are explorers from the planet Earth. We did not mean to damage your barriers. We were testing new technology." The alien's large eyes got even bigger. "Earth? You claim to come from the birth world?" "I do not understand what you mean by birth world," Dongsu said. "We come from Earth in the Sol system." There was a long pause. Dongsu could see other aliens moving around behind Admiral Thexrel. They looked excited and scared at the same time. "Captain," the alien said slowly, "if you truly come from Earth, Then you must know what happened to the Zephkorian Empire. Dongsu looked at his crew. None of them had ever heard of the Zephkorian Empire. I am sorry, Admiral, but we do not know what you are talking about. The alien admiral made a sound that the translator could not convert. Then he spoke again and his voice was shaking. Captain, 12,000 years ago, humans destroyed the most powerful empire in the galaxy. The Zephkorians ruled over 1,000 star systems. Human ships appeared from nowhere and wiped them out in less than a year. After that, humans vanished completely. We thought they had died out or left the galaxy forever. Dongsu felt a chill run down his spine. 12,000 years ago, humans were still living in caves and learning how to farm. There was no way humans could have fought an interstellar war. Admiral, Dongsu said carefully, I think there has been a mistake. Humans have only had space travel for 2 centuries. We could not have fought anyone 12,000 years ago. The alien admiral was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something that made Dongsu's blood run cold. Captain, your ship just did something that should be impossible. You broke through barriers that have stopped every weapon and ship for 300 years. You did it easily, like they were not even there. If you are not the humans from the legends, then what are you? Dongsu looked around his bridge. His crew was staring at him, waiting for an answer. Outside, more alien ships were arriving every minute. They all kept their distance, like they were afraid to get too close. Admiral, Dongsu said finally, we are human explorers from Earth. We came here in peace. We do not want to fight. Then why, the alien asked, are you carrying enough weapons to destroy this entire system? Boram looked at her weapons display. The ship had standard destroyer armaments, nothing special. But somehow these aliens thought the Incheon was carrying planet-killing weapons. Dongsu realized they were in serious trouble. These aliens believed humans were legendary warriors who had destroyed empires. His single ship had accidentally proved that humans could ignore their best defenses. Now an entire alien fleet was gathering, and they all thought he was here to start a war. Admiral, Dongsu said, I think we need to talk. Deep inside the Velthari military headquarters, computers that had been sleeping for 1,000 years suddenly woke up. Emergency Protocol Omega-7 had never been used before. The ancient program started running, searching through files that were older than most civilizations. Velnara was not really alive, but she was more than just a computer. She was an artificial mind that had been watching the galaxy for centuries, looking for signs of danger. When the human ship broke through the Keith 9 barriers, every alarm in her system went off at once. She began pulling up files that had been buried so deep that most Velthari had forgotten they existed. Stories and legends that were older than their empire. Records of wars that happened when their grandparents' were not even born yet. Fleet Commander Nixara was eating his breakfast when the priority alert came through. He had been a military officer for 60 years, and he had never seen an Omega-7 alert. He did not even know what it meant. Computer? Explain Protocol Omega-7, he said. Protocol Omega-7 is activated when evidence suggests the return of humanity to the galaxy, Velnara's voice replied. All fleet commanders must review classified briefing materials immediately. Nixara almost choked on his food. Humanity? But humans are just a legend. Negative. Updating your clearance level now. Please review the attached files. The files that appeared on Nixara's screen made his 4 hearts beat faster. Records of the Zephkorian War. Pictures of destroyed planets. Ships that could appear and disappear at will. Warriors who seemed impossible to kill. According to the files, humans did not fight wars the way other species did. Most aliens followed rules and traditions in battle. Humans ignored all rules. They used weapons that should not work. They attacked in ways that made no sense. They won battles that they should have lost. The most frightening part was how the war ended. After destroying the Zephkorian Empire, the humans simply vanished. No one knew where they went. Some believed they died out. Others thought they left the galaxy. A few whispered that they had transcended physical reality entirely. On the Incheon, Chief Engineer Wanbin was doing things that would give any normal engineer nightmares. He had disconnected the safety systems on the reactor and was running it at 130% power. The life support was working with backup power only. Every spare bit of energy was going to weapons and shields. This is crazy, Technician Jihoon said. He was watching Wanbin work. The reactor is not supposed to run this hot. We could have a meltdown. Wanbin wiped sweat from his forehead. Jihoon, we have 50 alien ships pointed at us. If we have a reactor meltdown, at least it will be quick. If they decide to attack, we need every advantage we can get. But sir, the manuals say... The manuals were written by people who never had to fight aliens, Wanbin interrupted. Human engineering works because we ignore the rules that say it should not work. He connected two systems that were never meant to work together. The computer immediately started showing warning messages, but Wanbin ignored them. See? Now our shields are connected directly to the main gun. If someone shoots at us, the energy will make our weapons stronger instead of weaker. Ji-hoon stared at the setup. That should not be possible. Exactly, Wanbin grinned. Aliens think logically. Humans think creatively. That is why we always surprise them. On the bridge, Science Officer Hyunwoo was studying the alien fleet formations. He had been analyzing their movements for 2 hours, and what he found was disturbing. Captain, he said, I have been watching how the aliens are positioning their ships. They are not setting up for an attack. They are setting up for defense. Captain Dong-soo looked up from the reports he was reading. Defense against what? We are just one ship. That is exactly the point, sir. They are treating us like we might explode or multiply or do something completely unexpected. Look at this formation. They have heavy ships in front, but they are spacing them far apart. That only makes sense if they think we might have weapons that can destroy multiple ships at once. Navigator Si-jin was tracking the new ships arriving in the system. Captain, we now have 87 alien vessels in sensor range. More are coming from 3 different directions. But sir, they are all staying at least 15,000 kilometers away from us. It is like they think we are radioactive, Boram said from her weapon station. I have never seen anything like this. Usually, if someone wants to capture a ship, they surround it closely. These aliens are staying as far away as they can while still keeping us in weapons range. Communications Officer Taeho had been working on the alien language. The computer was getting better at translating their signals. Captain, I am picking up transmissions between the alien ships. They are arguing about whether to attack us or retreat completely. What are they saying exactly? Some of them want to destroy us before we can activate. Others are saying that attacking humans just makes them angry and more dangerous. A few are suggesting they should evacuate the entire system. Medical Officer Yu-jin looked up from her medical scanners. Captain, I have been monitoring the life signs of the aliens we can see on their ships. Their stress levels are extremely high. Heart rates are elevated. According to these readings, they are terrified. Dong-soo thought about this information. An entire alien fleet was gathering to face one human destroyer. But instead of being confident, they were scared. The only explanation was that they believed humans were much more dangerous than they actually were. Sir, Taeho said suddenly. Incoming priority transmission. It is from their fleet commander. The main screen showed a new alien. This one was even larger than Admiral Thexeril, with 6 arms and armor that looked like it was made from metal and bone. When it spoke, its voice was deep and formal. Human vessel. I am Fleet Commander Nixara of the Velthari Imperial Navy. I have been authorized to speak for the Empire in this matter. Go ahead. Commander, Dong-soo replied, Captain, our records indicate that humanity possesses weapons and abilities far beyond what your single ship displays. We know that humans can phase shift through solid matter, manipulate space-time, and deploy weapons that can destroy star systems. We also know that human warriors cannot be permanently killed and will continue fighting even when their bodies are destroyed. Dong-soo blinked. Commander, I think your records are wrong. We do not have any of those abilities. With respect, Captain, your ship just demonstrated phase-shifting technology by penetrating our quantum barriers. Our sensors detect energy signatures that match legendary human reality manipulation devices. Your crew life signs show the enhanced resilience typical of human super soldiers. Hyunwoo whispered to the captain. Sir, they think our Void Ripper drive is reality manipulation. They think our reinforced hull is super soldier technology. They think we are much more advanced than we actually are. Fleet Commander Nixara continued speaking. Captain, the Velthari Empire does not wish to repeat the fate of the Zephkorians. We are prepared to discuss terms for peaceful coexistence. However, we must know. Are you here as scouts for a larger human invasion force? Dong-soo realized he was facing an impossible situation. If he told the truth, that humans were relatively new to space and had no super weapons, the aliens might attack. But if he played along with their misconceptions, he would be lying and possibly starting an interstellar incident. Commander, Dong-soo said carefully, we are explorers, not invaders. We came here by accident during a test of our new drive system. We have no intention of harming anyone. But you could harm us if you chose to, Nixara stated. Our legends speak of human ships that could destroy entire fleets single-handedly. They speak of human weapons that could crack planets like eggs. Wanbin's voice came over the intercom. Captain, I hate to interrupt, but you should know. I have been monitoring their scanning attempts. They keep trying to penetrate our hull with their sensors, but our standard armor is blocking them. I think they believe we have some kind of super-advanced shielding. Also, Yujin added, their medical scans of our crew are confusing them. Human biology is apparently very different from what they expect. They think our redundant organ systems and dense bone structure are artificial enhancements. Dongsu looked around his bridge. His crew was made up of ordinary humans using standard Earth technology. But somehow everything about them seemed impossibly advanced to these aliens. Commander Nixara, Dongsu said, I propose a meeting. Let us discuss this situation face to face. Maybe we can clear up some misunderstandings. There was a long pause. Then Nixara said something that chilled Dongsu to the bone. Captain, the last time a Velthari commander met with humans face to face, his entire fleet disappeared. We found his flagship 3 days later, completely empty. Every crew member was gone, but there were no signs of battle damage. Are you certain you wish to meet in person? Dongsu realized that these aliens were not just afraid of human technology, they were afraid of humans themselves. The space around the Inchin filled with ships like a swarm of angry insects. Every hour brought more alien vessels jumping into the system. What had started as a few dozen ships became hundreds. The largest ones were so big that they blocked out the stars behind them. Supreme Admiral Kyle Thera stood on the bridge of the massive dreadnought dominator of stars. She had commanded fleets for over a century, but she had never faced anything like this. The ship in front of her was tiny compared to her fleet. One human destroyer against 300 Velthari warships. It should have been over in minutes, but it was not. Status report. She ordered her tactical officer. Ma'am, the human vessel remains in position. They have not moved or powered down their weapons. Our sensor teams still cannot penetrate their hull completely. Every scan attempt is partially blocked. What about reinforcements? Are more human ships coming? No, ma'am. Long-range sensors show no other vessels approaching. It appears to be just the one ship. Kelthera studied the tactical display. Her ship surrounded the human vessel in a perfect sphere, but they were all staying at maximum weapons range. No one wanted to get closer. Ma'am, her communications officer said, the human captain is requesting a meeting. He wants to talk. A meeting? Kelthera's voice showed her surprise. He is surrounded by 300 ships and he wants to talk? On the Inchin, Medical Officer Yujin was watching the alien fleet through the main viewer. The sight was terrifying and beautiful at the same time. Ships of every size and shape hung in space around them. Some looked like they were grown rather than built. Others had strange geometries that hurt to look at. Captain, she said quietly, there are so many of them. I count at least 50 ships that are bigger than our largest space stations. And yet, observed Hyunwoo, they are maintaining a distance of exactly 20,000 kilometers. Not closer, not farther. They are treating us like we have a specific danger radius. Tactical Officer Boram was studying the alien formations. Sir, this is the strangest military formation I have ever seen. Usually when you surround someone, you want to get close so they cannot escape. But these ships are positioned like they are afraid we might explode. Chief Engineer Wanbin came onto the bridge carrying a data pad. He looked excited and worried at the same time. Captain, I have been analyzing their ship designs. Most of these vessels are built for long-range combat. Heavy weapons, thick armor, but no close combat capabilities. It is like they never expect to fight anything up close. What does that mean? Dongsu asked. It means they fight wars very differently than we do. Humans build ships that can fight at any range. We like to get close and finish fights quickly. These aliens prefer to stay far away and shoot big guns at each other. Communications Officer Teho was listening to the alien chatter. Captain, their fleet commander is willing to meet with you. But she wants the meeting to take place on a neutral station. She is very concerned about coming aboard our ship. Why? According to the translation, she is afraid our ship might consume her crew. Whatever that means. Navigator Si Jin looked up from her station. Captain, they are building something. Multiple ships are working together to construct some kind of platform about 50,000 kilometers away. The main screen showed alien vessels using energy beams to assemble a large structure. It looked like they were building a space station from scratch using pieces that their ships carried. How long will that take? Dongsu asked. At their current rate, about 6 hours, Sijin replied. Dongsu thought about the situation. The aliens were so afraid of his ship that they were building an entire space station just to have a safe place to meet. Meanwhile, his crew was running on emergency power and jury-rig systems. If the aliens realized how vulnerable the Incheon actually was, they would probably attack immediately. Sir, Boram said, I have been studying their weapon signatures. Most of their guns are designed to fight at long range. But Captain, some of those big ships have weapons I do not recognize. Energy readings are off the charts. How powerful? If I am reading this correctly, sir, some of those weapons could destroy small moons. Yujin felt her stomach drop. Captain, are we really going to meet with them? What if it is a trap? Before Dongsu could answer, Yunwoo called out urgently. Captain, new contacts on long-range sensors. More ships are arriving, but these ones are different. The main screen showed new vessels dropping out of hyperspace. These ships were sleeker and more aggressive-looking than the Velthari fleet. They moved with purpose and confidence. Sir, Taeho said, I am receiving transmissions from the new arrivals. They are identifying themselves as the Korthak Confederation. They are demanding that the Velthari withdraw from this system immediately. Wonbin checked his engineering displays. Captain, the power signatures on those new ships are incredible. They are running their reactors much hotter than anything I have seen before. The alien communication channel suddenly became very busy. Kilthara's image appeared on the main screen again, but this time she looked even more stressed. Captain Dongsu, she said, we have a new problem. The Korthak Confederation has arrived. They are known for their aggressive expansion policies. They have been trying to take control of this system for decades. What do they want? They want you to surrender to them instead of us. They believe humans would be valuable allies in their conquest of other species. Dongsu looked at his crew. The situation was getting more complicated by the minute. Admiral, what happens if I refuse both offers? Then we will probably have to fight the Korthak fleet to protect you. That would mean a major battle in this system. How many ships do the Korthak have? About 150. But Captain, their ships are built for close combat. They prefer to ram their enemies or fight at point-blank range, very different from our preferred tactics. Boram was already calculating the odds. Captain, if these two fleets fight each other, we will be caught in the middle. Stray shots from weapons that powerful could destroy us easily. A new voice came over the communication channel. The translation made it sound harsh and mechanical. Human vessel, this is War Leader Thekmor of the Korthak Confederation. You will surrender to us immediately. Humans belong with warriors, not with these weak Velthari farmers. Dongsu stepped forward. War Leader, I am Captain Dongsu. We are not looking for allies or enemies. We are explorers. Explorers? The alien's laugh sounded like grinding metal. Humans do not explore. Humans conquer. Your legends speak of fleets that could crack worlds and warriors who could not be stopped. Join us and we will give you worthy enemies to fight. Yunwoo was analyzing the new tactical situation. Captain, both fleets are now positioning for battle. The Velthari ships are staying in defensive formation, but the Korthak vessels are moving to attack positions. Sir, Sijin said urgently, more contacts on sensors. A third fleet is approaching the system. Who now? Dongsu asked. Unknown, sir. But they are big. Much bigger than either of the fleets already here. The main screen showed massive shapes dropping out of hyperspace. These ships were larger than anything they had seen so far. Some of them were the size of small asteroids. Taeho's translation equipment was struggling with the new signals. Captain, the new arrivals are identifying themselves as the Eternal Dominion. They are claiming the system as their territory and ordering all other fleets to withdraw. Kylthera's image appeared again. This time she looked desperate. Captain Dongsu, the situation has become impossible. 3 major powers are now claiming the right to your allegiance. This is exactly what we feared would happen if humans returned to the galaxy. What do you mean? Every major power wants humans as allies because of your legendary abilities. But no one trusts anyone else to have that alliance. Your presence here could start a galactic war. Wonbin looked up from his engineering station. Captain, I have an idea. It is crazy, but it might work. What is it? What if we just leave? All 3 fleets are so focused on each other that they might not notice if we slip away quietly. Boram checked her tactical display. Sir, that might not work. All 3 fleets have ships positioned to intercept us if we try to run. Then we stay and fight? Yujin asked. We cannot fight 3 fleets, Dongsu said. We need another option. Hyunwoo had been thinking about the problem. Captain, what if we do not run or fight? What if we do something completely unexpected? Like what? What if we invite all 3 fleet commanders to meet with us at the same time? Force them to talk to each other instead of fighting. Taeho looked up from his communication station. Sir, that could work, but it would be extremely dangerous. If the meeting goes badly, we could have 3 angry fleets shooting at us. Dongsu looked around his bridge. His crew was tired. Their ship was running on emergency power and they were outnumbered by hundreds to 1. But they were still human, and humans had a reputation for doing the impossible. Send a message to all 3 fleet commanders, he said. Tell them Captain Dongsu requests a meeting with all of them. Together. The response was immediate. All 3 alien commanders started talking at once, arguing about who would meet with the humans first. The radio channels filled with threats and demands. Captain, Boram said quietly, I think we just made things worse. Outside the Incheon, ships. Dr. Min Seo had been working for 18 hours straight. As the ship's xenoarchaeologist, she was the expert on alien cultures and history. While the bridge crew dealt with 3 hostile fleets, she was deep in the ship's computer core, analyzing every piece of alien data they had captured. What she found made her hands shake. Captain, she called over the intercom, you need to see this immediately. Dongsu was still on the bridge, watching the 3 alien fleets position themselves for battle. Not now, Minseo. We are in the middle of a crisis. Sir, this is about the crisis. I found something in the Velthari historical archives. Something about humans. Can it wait? No, sir. Captain, according to these records, humans destroyed the Zefkorian Empire 12,000 years ago. But I found details about how they did it. Dongsu looked at his crew. The alien fleets were still arguing about the meeting, but they had stopped moving for the moment. Put it on the main screen. Minseo's face appeared, showing the exhaustion of someone who had been staring at computer screens all night. Captain, I have been analyzing Velthari historical records, and I found detailed accounts of the human-Zefkorian War. The descriptions of human technology match what we just did to their quantum barriers. Explain. The records say that human ships could ignore physical laws and pass through solid matter as if it did not exist. Sir, that is exactly what our Void Ripper drive does. We bypass normal physics to travel through space. Communications Officer Taeho looked confused. But Dr. Min Seo, humans only invented the Void Ripper drive 5 years ago. How could we have used it 12,000 years ago? Min Seo pulled up more data on her screen. That is the interesting part. I found genetic analysis records from the war. The humans that fought the Zefkorians were genetically identical to modern humans. Same DNA, same physical structure, same everything. Science Officer Hyunwoo was following the implications. Are you saying there was a previous human civilization? One that we do not remember? That is one possibility. But I found something else. References to something called the Ascension. According to multiple alien sources, the humans did not die after the war. They transcended physical reality and moved to a higher dimension. Chief Engineer Wanbin came onto the bridge carrying a toolkit. Dr. Minseo, that sounds like science fiction. People cannot just move to other dimensions. Maybe not, Minseo said. But Wanbin, consider this. What if the previous human civilization discovered technology so advanced that it seemed like magic to other species? What if they found ways to manipulate reality itself? Medical Officer Yu Jin had been listening while monitoring the crew's stress levels. Dr. Minseo, are you suggesting that we are descendants of this advanced civilization? That we forgot our own technology? Not forgot, lost. According to the records, the ascension was not voluntary for all humans. Some chose to stay behind in physical reality. The records suggest they were cut off from the advanced technology when the others ascended. Captain Dongsu felt a chill run down his spine. So you are saying modern humans are the descendants of the ones who were left behind? Yes, sir. And, Captain, there is more. The aliens have been waiting for 12,000 years for humans to return. Every major civilization in the galaxy has contingency plans for dealing with humanity. They all expect us to have the same reality-bending technology as before. Navigator Si-Jin looked up from her position. That explains why they are so afraid of us. They think we still have super weapons. But we do not, Boram said. We just have normal human technology. Wanbin was thinking about the engineering implications. Wait, maybe we do have super technology, but we do not realize it. Think about the Void Ripper drive. Every other species travels through normal space, but we punch holes in reality. To them, that is impossible. Our medical technology, too, Yujin added. I have been studying the alien biology data. Most species have single heart systems and fragile bone structures. Humans have redundant organs and bones that are much denser. To them, we probably look like we were engineered for combat. Yun Wu was connecting more pieces. Our computer systems use quantum processing in ways that other species consider theoretical. Our weapons are designed to be adaptable and modular. Even our basic technology probably seems advanced to them. Teho was monitoring the alien communications. Sir, the fleet commanders are still arguing about the meeting, but I noticed something strange. They keep referring to us as the inheritors, like we inherited something from the previous humans. Mincio pulled up another file. That matches what I found. The ancient records speak of humans as having inherited the ability to reshape reality through will and determination. Captain, I think they believe we have latent superpowers that we have not activated yet. That is ridiculous, Dongsu said. Is it? Wanbin asked. Captain, think about what we did to get here. We built a drive that ignores physics. We broke through barriers that were supposed to be unbreakable. We are sitting here with 3 alien fleets afraid to attack us, and we do not even know why. The main screen lit up with an incoming transmission. Supreme Admiral Kyle-Thera appeared, but she looked different now. More respectful, almost reverent. Captain Dongsu, she said formally, we have completed construction of the meeting station. However, before we proceed, I must ask you directly. Are you aware of your heritage? What heritage? The legacy of the Ascended Ones. The technology and abilities passed down through human genetic memory. Our scientists believe that human descendants carry dormant capabilities that can be awakened under stress. Dongsu looked at his crew. They all seemed as confused as he was. Admiral, we do not have any special abilities. We are just explorers. Captain, you say this, but your ship demonstrates capabilities that should be impossible. Your crew operates technology that our best scientists cannot understand. You remain calm in situations that would cause most species to panic. We are trained for this. No, Captain. Our psychological analysis suggests something more. Humans display a level of adaptability and problem-solving ability that is unprecedented. You routinely accomplish things that other species consider impossible, and you do it so naturally that you do not even realize how remarkable it is. Mincio spoke up from her station. Captain, I have been analyzing their psychological profiles of humanity. They believe we are naturally gifted at reality manipulation, finding solutions that should not exist and making impossible things work. That just sounds like engineering, Wanbin said. Exactly, Mincio replied. But to species that think in rigid patterns, human creativity and adaptability seem like magic. A new transmission came through. War leader Thekmor of the Korthak Confederation appeared on screen. Human Captain, he said. We have been monitoring your conversations with the Velthari. If you truly do not remember your abilities, we can help you rediscover them. The Korthak have preserved ancient human battle techniques. We can teach you to fight as your ancestors did. What kind of techniques? Dongsu asked. Combat methods that ignore enemy defenses. Weapons that adapt to any situation. Tactics that turn enemy strength into weakness. The humans of old did not fight by rules. They changed the rules during battle. Yujin realized something. Captain, that sounds like modern human military doctrine. We train our forces to be adaptable, to improvise, to use enemy equipment against them. All human military training emphasizes flexibility and creative problem-solving, Boram agreed. We are taught to find solutions that the enemy does not expect. A third transmission joined the conversation. The massive ships of the Eternal Dominion sent their own message. Humans of the inheritor generation. The voice was deep and ancient. We of the eternal dominion remember the time before your ancestors ascended. We offer to share the knowledge that was lost, the techniques of reality shaping that were your birthright. Hyunwoo was studying all the data they had collected. Captain, I think I understand what is happening. These aliens believe that humans naturally possess abilities that seem impossible to them, but from our perspective, we are just being human. What do you mean? We solve problems by ignoring limitations that other species accept as absolute. We build technology that works even when theory says it should not. We adapt to situations faster than other species think possible. Minseo nodded. And because the ancient humans were so far beyond what these species could understand, they assume all humans must have the same potential. Dongsu looked around his bridge. His crew was made up of ordinary people using standard Earth technology. But everything they did naturally, creative problem-solving, technological adaptation refusing to accept limitations, seemed like magic to the aliens. So they think we are all potential super beings? He asked. Yes, sir, Minseo said. And, Captain, here is the really important part. They are all afraid that interacting with other humans will awaken our abilities. That is why 3 fleets are here. Each one wants to control what they think will be humanity's return to galactic dominance. Taeho looked up from his communications. Sir, all 3 fleet commanders are demanding an immediate answer. Who will we meet with first? Dongsu realized that the decision he made next could determine the future of human-alien relations for centuries. The aliens believed humans were legendary beings with reality. Captain Dongsu made a decision that would change the galaxy forever. Send a message to all 3 fleet commanders, he told Taeho. Tell them we will meet with all of them at the same time on the station they built. But first we need to establish some ground rules. The response was immediate chaos. All 3 alien commanders started arguing at once about protocol security and who would speak first. Their voices filled the communication channels with threats and demands. Enough. Dongsu's voice cut through the noise. If you want to meet with humans, you will do it our way. We do not recognize your territorial claims, your military ranks, or your political authority. We are here as representatives of humanity, and we will be treated as equals. The silence that followed was deafening. Supreme Admiral Kyle was the first to respond. Captain, you cannot simply ignore our authority. The Velthari Empire has controlled this system for centuries, and we walked through your defenses like they were made of paper, Wanbin said over the intercom. Admiral, with respect, your authority only matters if you can enforce it. War Leader Thekmore joined the conversation. The human speaks truth. Strength determines authority. But Captain, you must choose allies. You cannot remain neutral when 3 empires offer alliance. The deep voice of the Eternal Dominion representative added, Young humans, neutrality is not possible. Your presence here has already shifted the balance of power. Every species in the galaxy will soon know that humanity has returned. Dr. Minseo had been monitoring galactic communication networks. Captain, they are right. News of our arrival is spreading fast. I am detecting emergency transmissions from dozens of species. Some are offering tribute, others are calling for military alliances, and a few are discussing surrender terms. Navigator Se-Jin looked up from her station. Sir, long-range sensors are detecting more ships approaching the system. At least 6 different species, all sending diplomatic envoys. This is getting out of hand, Medical Officer Yu-Jin said quietly. Dongsu thought about the situation. The appearance of one human ship had triggered a galactic crisis. Every major power wanted humanity as an ally, but they were so afraid of human capabilities that they were preparing for war with each other. Here is what we are going to do, Dongsu announced. We will meet with representatives from all 3 fleets. But the meeting will not be about choosing sides. It will be about establishing new rules for how humans interact with the galaxy. Science Officer Hyunwoo looked up from his analysis. Captain, that could work. Instead of being drawn into their conflicts, we establish humanity as an independent power that deals with everyone equally. But sir, Boram said, what if they refuse to accept that? What if they demand we choose sides? Wanbin grinned. Then we show them why humans have such a dangerous reputation. 2 hours later, the meeting station was complete. It was a simple structure. just a large conference room with life support systems that could accommodate different alien biologies. The three fleets maintained their positions around the Incheon, but the tension had shifted from immediate combat to nervous anticipation. Captain Dong-Su transported to the station with Dr. Min-seo and Tactical Officer Boram. As they materialized on the platform, he could see the three alien representatives waiting for them. Supreme Admiral Kyle Thera looked like a giant crystalline mantis, her forearms moving nervously. War Leader Thekmor resembled an armored bear with metal claws and glowing red eyes. The Eternal Dominion representative was the most unsettling, a floating mass of what looked like liquid metal with multiple shifting faces. "Humans," Kelthera said formally. "We welcome you to this gathering." "Thank you," Dong-Su replied. "Before we begin, I want to make something clear. Humanity is not looking for enemies or allies. We are explorers. We want to understand the galaxy and find our place in it." Thekmor's metal claws scraped against the table. "Captain, neutrality is weakness. The galaxy respects only strength. If humans do not claim their rightful place as conquerors, others will try to conquer you. With respect, War Leader, humans define strength differently than you do," Min-seo said. "We believe that the strongest civilizations are the ones that do not need to fight." The Eternal Dominion representative spoke with multiple voices at once. "Young inheritors, you speak of peace, but your ancestors reshaped the galaxy through conflict. The Zefkorian Empire fell because it challenged human expansion. According to our research," Min-seo continued, "the ancient humans fought the Zefkorians because they were enslaving other species. The war was not about conquest, it was about liberation." Kyle Thara's large eyes focused on Min-seo. "You have studied the old records?" "Yes, and we found something interesting. After the war, the humans did not take control of Zefkorian territory. They freed the enslaved species and then withdrew from galactic politics. Because they ascended to a higher dimension," the Eternal Dominion representative said. "Maybe," Min-seo said, "or maybe they just went home because they were tired of fighting." Dong-Su leaned forward. "Here is what I propose. Humanity will establish diplomatic relations with all civilizations that want them. We will trade knowledge and technology. We will help settle disputes when asked, but we will not join military alliances, and we will not participate in wars of conquest." "And if someone attacks human territory?" Thekmor asked. Boram answered before Dong-Su could speak. "Then they will learn why the galaxy still tells stories about human warriors." The threat was delivered calmly, but all three alien representatives reacted as if she had announced the end of the world. "You see," Kelthera said to the others, "humans still possess the old confidence. They do not fear superior numbers, because they know they can win regardless of odds." Thekmor agreed. "Actually," Dong-Su said, "we are confident because we do not believe in impossible situations. Humans have a saying, there is always a solution, you just have to be creative enough to find it." The Eternal Dominion representative shifted its liquid metal form. Creativity was always humanity's greatest weapon, the ability to see solutions that others cannot imagine. Over the next 3 hours, they worked out the basics of what would become known as the Terran Accords. Humanity would maintain neutrality in existing conflicts while offering mediation services. Human technology would be shared selectively, with priority given to medical and agricultural advances. Any species that attacked human territory would face the entire human fleet, but humanity would not participate in offensive wars. Most importantly, humans would establish embassies with any civilization that requested them. But these embassies would be treated as neutral territory where different species could meet safely. As the meeting concluded, Kelthera made a request. "Captain, would humanity be willing to share one piece of ancient technology? Our medical systems are failing to treat a plague that has affected several worlds." "What kind of plague?" Min-seo asked. "A genetic virus that attacks the nervous system. Our best scientists cannot find a cure." Boram looked at Dong-Su. "Sir, Dr. Park back on Earth was working on exactly that kind of problem. Her research on neural regeneration might help. We can arrange for your medical teams to consult with our researchers." Dong-Su agreed. Thekmor was surprised. "You would share medical technology with potential enemies?" "You are not our enemies unless you choose to be," Dong-Su said. "Besides, humans believe that helping others makes us stronger, not weaker." The meeting ended with all three powers agreeing to the basic framework. Within days, news of the Terran Accord spread throughout the galaxy. Some species offered immediate alliance, others sent tribute in hopes of gaining human favor. A few prepared for war, convinced that humanity would eventually reveal its true conquering nature. 6 months later, Captain Dong-Su stood on the observation deck of Terran Embassy Station, the first human diplomatic facility outside the solar system. The station was built in neutral space, funded jointly by 12 different alien civilizations. Dr. Min Seo joined him at the viewing port. Captain, the archaeological team found something interesting in the ruins on Kepler 442b. What kind of something? Evidence of the previous human civilization. But sir, they were not super beings with reality-bending powers. They were just humans like us. Very advanced humans, but still human. Then how did they become legends? Min Seo smiled. The same way we just did. They solved problems that everyone else thought were impossible. They refused to accept limitations. They helped species that needed help and fought species that enslaved others. Over time, the stories grew larger than the reality. And the Ascension? We found records suggesting they discovered a way to upload their consciousness into a vast computer network. Not transcendence to another dimension, just a very advanced form of digital immortality. Dong-Su looked out at the alien ships docked at the station. Representatives from dozens of species worked together on projects that had been considered impossible just months ago. So we are not the descendants of gods, he said. No, sir. We are just humans. But apparently being human is impressive enough. Communications Officer Taeho's voice came over the intercom. Captain, priority message from Earth. Admiral Jae-hoon wants to speak with you. The Admiral's weathered face appeared on the screen. Captain, I have been reading your reports. Let me see if I understand.